Hi everyone, it's Chantel from the Mommy Bookworm, and today I am going to be doing my February book haul. Yes, I know, I am super behind on this book haul. It's taken me a little bit to gather everything up and figure out exactly what I want to do for my first book haul. Just bear with me on this one. I got quite a few books in February. We went to Wichita, so we got to go to a bookstore. It was a used bookstore, so I got discounted books. I'm going to try and break it up as best as I can into genres, but some of these books have so many different genres and subgenres that it was really hard to figure out which one goes in what. Some of them just may not quite fit. So I'm going to do my best at describing them by genre. So I'm going to start off by saying I have 18 books for this book haul. To be honest, I was not tracking my books for February because it was like a last minute decision to actually start filming my book stuff. So I don't know if this is necessarily all of the books that I got in February. I actually know for a fact it's not all of the books that I got in February because there's some sitting right up here. Let's start off with the nonfiction titles that I've picked up. The first one that I'm really excited about is The Pursuit of Happiness by Chris Gardner. If you've ever seen the movie that has Will Smith in it, it's a wonderful movie and it's a tearjerker and I really liked it. I'm hoping to read this true life story that inspired the movie and find out exactly what was going through his mind and how he was able to care for his son while he was in between jobs and trying to figure out what he can do to better his life. The next book is Unseen by Sarah Haggerty. This one is a Christian nonfiction book and it is about how the world today in our culture shows us that we need to have success by what is measurable. And Sarah talks about how maybe success is not measurable and we need to rethink what success really is. We may be doing something that may not seem successful to the general public but is successful in God's eyes. I think this is a very creative sounding idea and I'm really looking forward to seeing exactly what she's talking about as far as finding the success in God and not so much focusing on the earthly things and the earthly ideas of success. The next book is Boy Meets Girl by Joshua Harris, and I actually picked this one up, and don't judge me, I again judged a book by its cover. I thought it was a movie, so I picked it up because I was like, oh, I could watch that movie afterwards. Well, it turns out it's actually a Christian nonfiction book about dating and how to have a relationship based around Christ, which is actually a pretty good idea. It's actually a fairly old book. It was published in 1993. It's been a while, but I think that the ideas will remain the same. The next book I found was A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson, and this is one book that I have been wanting to read for quite a while. It's a really popular nonfiction book. It's about Bill Bryson who comes back to America after spending 20 years, I believe it says. Yes. 20 years in Britain, and he hikes the Appalachian Trail and comes across several different characters and animals and nature, and it just tells his story of this hike. I love nature, so I think that this would be a great read for me. The last book in the nonfiction section is 1,000 Gifts by Anne Voskamp. This is yet another Christian nonfiction book, and it is about how to allow the grace of God in your life and teaches you how to deal with loss and the pain of real life in a biblical way. She also shows you how to embrace gratitude and to live and to slow down and really embrace God in everyday life. I'm really looking forward to reading this book. I think that it is something that will be great in this time period. I picked it up because I'm really actually into the Christian nonfiction lately, so I think that this will be good. I actually got this at Walmart, so it wasn't at the discount store and I didn't get a special price on it, but that's okay. My next grouping of books is romance or romantic comedies. So the first one is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen, and this one is very popular. If you haven't heard of it, I will be shocked. It's actually a movie as well. It has Robert Pattinson in it. I am looking forward to reading this book because I haven't read this book or seen the movie, and it just looks like it's a very good story, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. So this should be something that I will be reviewing as soon as I get it read. The next one I have is Rumor Has It by Jill Mansell. This one is the romantic comedy. It is about Tilly Cole, who moves into a small town accepting a new job, and rumors start circling around her immediately because that's what happens in small towns. Things get around very quickly. She meets Jack, who she was told to avoid at all costs. She decides that she's not sure what to believe, whether she should believe Jack or if she should believe the town. So this should be a really interesting read. I am from a small town myself, so I know how that feels. I know that things get around very quickly, whether you like it or not. It's just what happens in small towns. So the next grouping I have is general fiction or psychological fiction. I just kind of grouped them all together. The first one I actually opened in my book drop subscription box this month. Okay, let's try this again. So my SD card was full, so I had to delete some, and then, yeah, so let's just try this again. As I was saying, I received this book in the book drop subscription box, and it is Setting Free the Kites by Alex George. It is about two little boys who become friends, and they are like the least likely to become friends. They're exact opposites, and it just tells their story. They take a summer job at an amusement park, and they find a whole new world there, and they discover many things about different families and different walks of life and about themselves. So this should be an interesting read, and I'm excited to be doing a review on it very soon. The next book in my general fiction, this is actually considered a psychological fiction as well, is Night Road by Kristen Hanna. It is about a single mother, Jude, who moves her and her twins to a smaller town and meets a man, falls in love, and then one night something terrible happens. I'm really not sure what. That is exactly why I'm going to have to read this to find out, and she is thrown into a tailspin of everything. Everything she's known in her life is gone. It just looks very, very interesting, and I'm excited to read it, just like everything else. And the last book in the general fiction is The Memory Keeper's Daughter by Kim Edwards. This one is about a physician who in 1964 is forced to deliver his own twins. The boy turns out to be just fine, but the girl happens to have Down syndrome. So he asks his nurse Caroline to take her. And this is the story of what happens after that. I've never heard of it actually, and it just looks like it's going to be a really good story. This next one seems a bit odd for me. Both of these didn't really seem like they would fit into this genre. This is Christian fiction. The first one is The Lights of 10th Street by Shanti Feldhahn. It is about Ronnie, who leaves an abusive home life and enters into the world of stripping. Yes, now how is this into Christian fiction? I don't really know. Then she meets a young suburban family that has to take her under their wing and figure out how they can help through her cry of help. It seems like a jumbled mess of I don't know. So I'm going to have to check it out and read it. The last one is Chasing the Wind by Pamela Binnings-Ewing. This one I am not exactly sure what it is about. I'm hoping to find out soon. I would love to read it as soon as possible. I'm just going to leave it at that. I've read the back and I'm not exactly sure how to summarize it without making it really complicated, so I'm just going to say that it looks like a good book. So this section is actually quite small this time. Usually it would probably be bigger, and it actually is bigger because, like I said, there's still some books that I got in February up here that I'm not going to discuss, but they also belong in this section. This is the YA section. The only book I got in this section for February was Lock and Key by Sarah Dessen. Now she's a very popular author. I saw her name and I knew that this was something that would probably be really good. So the main character, Ruby, is sent to live with her sister. And of course she meets a boy when she moves there, and everything just turns into something that she was not expecting. I'm going to keep it that vague. My last section includes several books, and it's from different genres, ranging from horror to thriller. I just didn't want to really separate those, so I just kept them all in one. There's gonna be a couple that are pretty popular, and then the rest of them I just thought they looked good, so I read the description and I was like, that sounds like a good book. Let's buy it. The first one is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I've actually never read this. It's one of the most popular books out there, and I've never been able to pick it up. Oh well. I'm not going to go into too much detail with this because it is so popular, and I'm sure most of you either have read it or know about it. And this is a movie as well, so there are lots of books that I picked up that are also movies. The next book I have is Betwixt by Tara Bray Smith. It is about Morgan, who is awoken in a building where paintings are coming alive, and Nyx, who is able to see light halos around people who are about to die. So this sounds really, really good, and I'm super excited to see what this is all about and to see how it turns out. The next book I have is Twisted Branch by Chris Blaine, and this one is a ghost horror type book. The main character, Sam Ford, is on the road and decides to stop at a hotel. The owners offer him a job in order to homeschool their son, and he accepts in order to be able to stay there for free as well as get compensation for the homeschooling. Well, then things begin happening and Sam starts to wonder if maybe he should have kept going and never stopped. So this is going to be exciting to find out exactly what happens and what Sam decides to do about it, and I'm just really excited. I love horror. Like, horror and psychological thrillers are like super like my favorite genres. The next book I have is House of Windows by John Langan, and this one looks super creepy. So this one is a horror, and it is a haunted house horror, which I love, like ghost stories and everything like that. So this is going to be interesting to read and super fun. I'm just really looking forward to reading this one. The last book before my camera goes haywire again is The China Dogs by Sam Masters. It's based in Miami, and it's all about these dogs going crazy and attacking people, and there's no reason why. They just suddenly start going crazy. So this is interesting to find out why they're going crazy. Alright, so there you have it. That is my February book haul, and like I said, I had 18 books for February. That is a lot, and you know what? I've already got probably more than that for March. So be prepared for another huge book haul in March. If you liked this book haul, please like and comment below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, The Mommy Bookworm, for more great content. Be sure to click the bell icon to be updated every time I post a new video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!